I had an entrepreneurial seizure and I almost walked away from my business. It was 2009 and I'd just started my first business, an accounting practice. I'd been an accountant for 8 years and I had an entrepreneurial itch that needed scratching. So like many others, I started my first business in the trade that I knew, which was being an accountant. I mean, how hard can it be to start a business? But 3 years later, I was stressed out and hating things. I mean, the business was going well. I was growing every year. I had hired new staff, but I was stressed. I wasn't managing the staff well, and I was just working too much. I wasn't getting the financial freedom and the time freedom that I had been hoping to get out of business. This is what Michael Gerber calls having an entrepreneurial seizure. It actually comes from this book here, The E-Myth. It was first published in the 1980s, but the principles in there still remain very true today. And the E-Myth is this: if you understand the technical work of a business, you understand a business that does that technical work. Basically what that means is just because you have a trade, an accountant, a plumber, an architect, an engineer, just because you're good at that doesn't mean you're good at running a business that does that work. And that's what happened to me. Now, Gerber proposes a solution in his book. And this is it. Every business that wants to grow and be successful needs 3 people: a technician, an entrepreneur, and a manager. So let's break down these 3 roles. The first is the technician. And as I mentioned, being a technician is someone who loves doing the work of that business, whether that's being an accountant, an electrician, an architect, a graphic designer. They love living in the present. They just really enjoy doing the work that the business does. The next is the manager. Now, the manager lives in the past. They love to look back, they love to organise, they love to make sure everything's running really well. They like to create systems so that the business works day in, day out. And thirdly, the entrepreneur. Well, they look forward. They're the one with the vision, usually with the sales skills and the ideas to grow that business into something much bigger. So if we come back to my story, I wasn't enjoying business. I had had that entrepreneurial seizure. So I was good at the technical work. I was also okay at the entrepreneurial work. I could see where I could take this business, but I wasn't being a good manager. I hadn't created the systems to run the business and I wasn't managing my staff well. I needed to get those skills so that I could make the business be successful and I could dial down the time I was spending in the business. I needed to get the managerial skills to put the systems in place and the processes, and also do a better job at managing my team, because that was taking a lot of my time. To do that, I actually needed to dial back on the technical work and spend time learning the skills in the managerial side of the business. To do that, I actually joined a business coaching program. Best decision I ever made in my business life. I would not be here today. I would have walked away from that business had I not done that. It gave me the skills as the manager type that Gerber talks about in his book. Being able to create systems, being able to manage effectively your team. I stopped being interrupted all the time. I started to make time to work on the business. Now, of course, as I'm increasing my skills in that manager area, I don't have unlimited time, so I have to pull back on being a technician, which means I need to hire more technicians into the business, which I did. I'm not saying, and neither is Gerber, that you need to be every person in that role in the business, a technician, a manager, and an entrepreneur. But if you're not skilled or you're not in one of those roles, you need to hire someone in to be in those roles and empower them to do that. But as the business owner, you need to at least get your head across those 3 areas so that you can manage them effectively. And so from there, as they say, the rest is history. And many years on now, I've managed to use these principles that I've learnt from Gerber to be able to manage my own businesses, to only spend 10 hours a week working in those businesses. And I'm hoping to teach those skills to you and to other business owners who are looking to start and scale their business. So what can you do right now? Firstly, take an audit. Have a think. Are you a technician, a manager, or an entrepreneur? Which of those three skills do you need to improve, and which do you need to employ? One way you could do that is you could take an audit of this week. Write down all the different tasks that you're doing and try and group them into those three columns: manager, entrepreneur, and technician, and see which sort of work you're doing day to day. Mostly I suspect that you'll be a technician. You've started the business because you're good at doing something. So to help you combat that, to work towards more of the manager side of things, block out 1 hour each week to work on the business. Make sure you've got no interruptions. Do it from home if you have to, rather than from the office. And as you've taken that audit and you've written down a list of all the things that you're doing, delegate at least one task this week to someone else. Now, this is just an overview of the E-Myth and how you can create your business and free up your time. Of course, there's plenty more involved in working through those steps to create a successful and a growing business. I want to help you build a business without burning you out. So if this is something of interest to you, please subscribe, like, follow, and I'll be releasing more videos in the coming weeks and months to help you start up and scale up your business so that you can get your life and time back.